Hey everybody, welcome back to Trinity Dairy. Don't forget to like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It doesn't cost you anything and it really helps out our channel. And if you're interested in any of our merchandise, check out our merch store. We'll have a link in the description for that. Today's February 16th, 2023. It's a pretty nice day out. It's a little cooler. It's about 18 above. We actually kind of coming out of a pretty warm snap here. We had a few days that were in the 40s. One day I think we hit 47 even, so that's unseasonably warm for this time of the year, but it dropped our snow some, so that was kind of nice, but it also made a lot of ice. And then we also got a storm that come through, and we got about, I didn't have a gauge out, but I think we got about an inch of rain. So that really made a lot of ice. I know we had 3/4 of an inch. The neighbor had a gauge and they had that much, but it's still raining. So that kind of made a mess. But one thing nice, the ground isn't frozen where the snow hasn't been disturbed. So a lot of that soaked in. So that was good to get in the ground anyway for some of that moisture. But anyway, with that rain and kind of a little bit of snow that came through, the cows didn't go out of the barn for a couple of days. So I'm going to let them out today for a while, but I got to put some hay out there. So I'm going to fire up the skid steer. They got one feeder. I got to put a bale in. I'm going to start digging into some of our wrapped round bales because the deer, we've got just an infestation of deer around here because the snow is so deep. They hang up around here in the yard and they started getting into those wrapped bales. So I want to get them fed up, and no sense in having them go bad because the deer ate holes in them. So I'm gonna unplug the heater on the skid steer and fire that up, and we'll go dig out some hay. All right, we'll let that warm up a little bit. Watch so I don't fall. You can see this. This is all ice here. That's a big flow of ice that's just melting from the yard and comes down. Pretty much our entire driveway is just glare ice, so you really got to watch it. I'm probably going to take some of the ashes out of the wood stove and sprinkle on some of these places where we walk quite a bit, but that seems to help some. But I was going to take you in the garage here. I've had this tractor sitting in here for a little while now. We've got our older 830 case in here, and this last fall I was using it to bale some hay, and it had a head gasket start leaking. It was, I noticed right on the, these have two heads. This has two heads. It's a 4-cylinder, and on the corner of this rear head it was blowing some compression out. I think it was just the one head. It might be both. It was hard to tell. But anyway, so I parked it and kind of getting at it now so I can get it ready before we need it here this spring. But I'm going to pull both heads off, get them checked, get new head gaskets in it. I haven't been doing a whole video on it just because these repair videos usually aren't that exciting or anything, but I thought I'd give you a little update on it, what's going on with it, because I know it's been seen in some of the videos sitting in here. But I got so far I got this one head. I've got the intake exhaust off, manifolds off. I got the rocker arm assembly off of this one. This one has decompression system on it, so you can open the exhaust valves open so it'll crank over easier for timing and stuff. I got that pulled off of that head. I got to unhook the fuel lines yet. The injectors, I'm going to pull them out once I get the heads off, just because it's easier than trying to work around the fuel filter assemblies and stuff. So that's what's going on there. I'll probably kind of keep you updated on it here and there, but just kind of messing around with that when I got time. And I don't really have good heat in the shop here, so if it's real cold, I don't mess around in here. But that's why that beast is in here, so we'll keep putzing with that and get that back in action for this spring. So that skid steer should be warmed up good enough, so we'll go plow some snow out and to get at them bales and get some hay out. So here we're at these are our wrapped bales. Now for some of our newer viewers out there that maybe don't know what this is hay we put up at a higher moisture, and it's too wet to keep without molding if it was just left open. So we wrap them in this plastic. We have a wrapper that does it. We have some videos back this summer and even prior years of us doing that if you want to check those out. But so what this does, you bale it at a higher moisture and wrap it, and it allows it to ferment and keeps it good. But the issue we're having here, that only works if you can keep the air out of it, especially on this hay, because this hay is on the drier side. I would say this was about 30% moisture. Ideally, I think they want 50% or so to get a better fermentation. The wetter it is, the least spoilage you'll get if it gets air in it. I don't typically make it that wet just because they're a lot heavier and I don't have big enough equipment to move them that heavy. So what we've got going on here, since it's got so much snow and the deer have kind of congregated in this area, they live in this grove of trees over here, and this is kind of their trail. So they've started chewing holes in there to get at the hay, because apparently the second crop hay in the hay shed wasn't good enough. So they had to come and sample some of this. And I don't know how many bales they've been into. I know there's one on the end of this row they've got a big hole in, and there's two there. But I figured I might as well start feeding them anyway to get them used up. And there could be some of these too. We had a lot of trees break off when we had that big heavy wet snow a month or so ago. So there could be some of these that have gotten a little bit of holes in the top from tree branches that broke off. So I might as well start feeding on them. But anyway, I've got to get some of this snow moved out of here so I can get at these, and then we'll go get the bale spear and we'll open one up. That's all the snow I'm going to move here for right now, just so I can get at them. I think my biggest plan of action here is going to be, just because we got so much snow, it's too hard for me to try to push it all the way to the end of the row. So I'll start feeding out of the center here and get an opening all the way through to the trees. Then I can just start pushing the snow back as I feed instead of trying to move it all at once. So now we're going to run and get the spear and get feeding. So this hay out that I wrapped, this stuff's not the greatest. There's some alfalfa in it, and the alfalfa was pretty young when I baled this. Some of the grass is kind of headed out. A lot of it there was some June grass and stuff in there, which isn't much. But I tried to get it as young as possible, try to keep as much value in it as I could. And it was some first crop, but it was put up nice, so it's decent feed. They're getting some really good hay in the barn mixed with their silage, so this kind of helps stretch out that, because I don't have a lot of that really nice hay. But it is what it is. They kind of eat what we have around here, so we'll put this out. And this feeder, I've had some people ask about this. This is just a regular bale feeder under here, and then this was they call a hay saver, I guess. It sits down inside of there. It should really be on a skirted feeder. This is the feeder I had, so I put it in there, but it works nice. The only thing I don't like about it, I think it does save a lot of hay, but like this chunk that's sitting in here, the bales I was putting in here were out of the shed, but there must have been one spot where the shed leaked a little bit, so there must have been a bad spot in that bale. If you got bales that are going to have a lot of waste on them, you don't want to use that, because it'll wind up clogging them up. But there isn't too much in here. They do okay yet, but I know we had some one year that were I don't remember what, my grandpa got them somewhere. They had quite a bit of spoilage on them, and I put it in here, and I had to take it back out because whole thing was clogged up. They couldn't even get at it. But if you got good clean hay that's been in the shed or been wrapped, they work pretty good. And I don't know, there was a brand on this one somewhere. He picked it up used. Yeah, Pride of Plymouth, and I think they still make them. They make feeders that are like that too. But anyway, I'm going to cut the twines off here, drop it in, and then we'll let the cows out. I was a little bit nervous about letting them out on this since we got all this ice, but they seem like they're doing pretty good. I kind of checked around out here first to see how it looked, and it didn't look too bad. It looked like it had drained off pretty well. They can kind of walk around out there at their own pace and not push them. I think they'll be fine, but I'm going to shut the barn down here and we'll go out to the feeders and see how they're doing. Well, it looks like they all made it out here. There's a couple of them that are on their way. They're being a little bit more cautious, but seems like they're doing okay. Like I said, there's ice here, but there's a lot of manure and stuff kind of blended in with it, so they do get some traction. They're having good exercise out here. Mindy. Well, it must not be too bad of hay. There's a few headed over there. I figured if the deer are willing to chew through the plastic to get at it, it must be pretty decent hay. What do you think, Bravery? Huh? What do you think? That one's smart. She's gonna walk on the snowpack. She's not gonna stay on the trail. It's a little slippery there. Well, we'll leave them out here for a while. I can go get the barn bedded down and everything, and they can come back in.
Hey everybody, I want to thank everyone for commenting in the last video with their hat color combos they'd like to see. We took some of the most popular choices and we've added them to our merch store. If you're new to shopping at the merch store, there's an easy way to find it. You just go right on to the Trinity Dairy YouTube channel, and there's 2 different ways you can get there. You can go right to this link right here, which will bring you to the merch store. Or if you hit in the About section, you can scroll down from there, and there's a thing at the bottom there that says links. Click on merch store. From there, that'll bring you to the community printing Trinity Dairy storefront. That's where we have all of our hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, winter hats, and the new ball caps that we've added. We had the gray and red, black and gray, black and pink, black and red, dark gray and blue, blue and white, and the camel with blaze orange, which I really think is sharp. So if you're not the winner of the giveaway, you can go right to our merch store and order one of these hats for yourself. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we wanted to thank everyone who sent in all the different suggestions for our new hat colors. And we also picked a winner for the hat and shirt giveaway, and the winner is
Douglas MacArthur.
So Douglas MacArthur, if you want to email us and you can look over our online store and pick what color cap you would like, and also pick out the size and what color shirt you would like as well. So thanks everybody again for entering, and we'll see you in the next one.